Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Trimulyani Sonarharum. You can call me Yani. I'm a lecturer from the Department of Architecture and Planning, especially from the Urban and Regional Planning. Yeah, I hope you are doing well, everyone. Hello, Mas Panji, can you hear me well?
Yes, very clear, Bu Yani. See you again.
Yeah, nice to see you again. Okay, welcome to our first parallel session here for the in the second day of International Conference on Indonesian Architecture and Planning. And in this session, we have three presentations. Each presentation is given 10 minutes for presenting the research. And we will let all the presentations happen. Yeah, so we it will be a kind of a plenary session, and then after that we can have a Q&A or discussion sessions. Okay, is it clear? Okay, so 10 minutes. I will also give you kind of reminder, yeah, about the remaining time. And Mas Wildan and also Mbak Amel will help to share the screen, yeah, in Zoom meeting. Okay, the first presenter. Oh yeah, sorry. This session, the theme is about green infrastructure and nature-based solutions. So actually, everyone also welcome later, yeah, to have also questions to another presenters here. And maybe the last presenter, Mas Dominicus, yeah, will join us a bit late. Without further ado, let's start our presentation session. For the first time, we can give to Ibu Endah Tisnawati, Ibu Nabila Aufelisa, and Ibu Elsa Yulisa, yeah, to present. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much for the time for us. Let me introduce myself. My name is Endah Tisnawati. I came from Yogyakarta University of Technology. In here, we will present, this is my college, is Mbak Nabila dan Mbak Elsa in here with me together. We conduct some research, and the title is Bridging Vernacular Knowledge and Scientific Design, a co-design approach for resilient green infrastructure in Yogyakarta Kampung. So in the first time, Mbak Elsa will be explained about the introduction, the backgrounds of this research, and also the method. Please, Mbak Elsa.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you, Bu Tisna. Okay, the first let me begin by setting the context. Yogyakarta is experiencing rapid urban densification. This has progressively reduced green open space while increasing environmental pressures such as urban heat and declining ecological quality. These challenges are particularly visible in kampung settlements, which are characterized by high density, limited land availability, but strong community-based social structures. Now, green infrastructure, or GI, has emerged as a global planning paradigm. However, most existing GI models were developed for low to medium density contexts. They simply do not work in dense kampung environments. So the question becomes, how can we develop resilient green infrastructure in these dense settlements without displacing commodities? Okay, for the gap, our intellectual review revealed a critical gap. There are very few systematic methods that translate vernacular spatial practices, just like the everyday knowledge of communities, into formal design languages. And most participatory processes treat local knowledge as just a supplementary input. This is where our study comes in. We develop and test the collaborative wisdom framework as a structured translation mechanism. So the collaborative wisdom is built on 4 components, such as vernacular knowledge, which is in the tacit spatial intelligence of communities. The second is scientific design thinking. It's operationalized through the 5 stages of empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. The third is co-design approach through a participatory workshops. And finally, the resilient green infrastructure as the outcome, evaluated through ecological, social, and institutional dimensions. For the research method, we employ a design thinking approach integrated with participatory action research. The research was conducted in Kementerian Godokusuman, Yogyakarta, involving 22 urban farming groups. Our participants were recruited through purposive sampling with clear inclusion criteria, such as active membership for at least 12 months, regular participation, and willingness to engage in all 5 stages. As you can see in this table, we have 52 unique participants across all stages, with 67% of female and 37% of male. The stages included empathize with 45 participants for interviews and observations, divine with 28 participants in 2 FGD sessions, ideate with 35 participants in 3 design workshops, prototype with a 6-person video production team, and test with 31 participants for video evaluation. Now I will hand over to Nabila, who will present our key findings for the 3 research questions.
Okay, Mbak Elsa, thank you so much for the time and the opportunity. Okay, I'll continue the presentations. The next one was the next slide, please. Okay, so as you can see, we have this table of findings. This is based on our first research questions. That was what forms of vernacular spatial knowledge emerge from urban farming practices. Through field observations, we identify 5 typologies. As you can see, there is a 5 line of the table of vernacular knowledge. Okay, let me walk you through them. The first line was drainage edge cultivations, while planting along drainage ditch edge using moisture gradients found 88% of sites. And then the second one was vertical propagation using bamboo or lattice structures found in 76%. Intercell alley farming raises beds in narrow gang space found in 62%. Recycle container system using buckets and tires found in 92%. This was the most prevalent, and communal nursery nodes found in 57%. Spatial analysis revealed that residual species constitute an average of 34% of kampung land area. Of this, current farming utilizations is only 41%, indicating significant untapped potential. This shows that vernacular knowledge is not just about the technique, it is embodied, practical, and deeply contextual. Next slide, please. Okay, and the second one is based off our second research questions. How does design thinking translate vernacular knowledge into spatial design strategies? So this is the table and the diagrams. Let me show you the translation process. Okay, right there. From 40 initial interviews, we generate 847 codes, aggregate to 12 themes. Through the design stage FGD, we reduce this to 5 priority designs problem as shown in the table. The top priority receiving, as you can see, 24 out 28 votes was how might we create shade gathering space within existing garden layout. Content analysis reveal three dominant approaches: integrated pavilion farm configuration at 41%, modular mobile garden elements at 32%, and vertical intensification system at 27%. Content through dot voting, participants selected three design alternatives. The first one was alternative A. We call it in Indonesia cangkruk terintegrasi, was selected by 54% as first preference. And the second one was alternative B. We call it kebun panggung, received 31%. And the last alternative was C, koridor hijau, received 15%. Material preference also emerged clearly. Bamboo at 74%, recycled wood pellet at 63%, and galvanized steel at 29%. Okay, this one was the third table, and there is some our documentations when we do the FGD on the direct observations with the participation. So this table, this is based on our third research questions, that how community members evaluate visual prototypes of co-designed green infrastructure. So we developed at 7 minutes video prototype symbolizing three design alternatives integrated into real site footage. This was then presented to 31 participants for evaluations, as shown as this table. The result was very encouraging. As you can see, the top positions was 94%. Design agreed that design concept is clear and understandable. And the second positions was 90% would like to see the design realized in their garden. And the third and the fourth positions have the same percentage, which is 84%, were confident they would maintain the design and willing to contribute the labor. Design preference were also clear. Alternative A, as cangkruk terintegrasi, ranked first by 79% of participants. Bamboo remained the top material choice at 68%. Importantly, participants also provide specific modifications requests. Storage integrations was requested by 61%, water access points by 55%, child accessible elements by 42%, and shade flexibility by 35%. Now, next slide, please. Okay, let's discuss what these findings means. Our findings demonstrate that urban agricultural practices in kampung environments are not merely small-scale food productions. They represent complex spatial knowledge.
10 more seconds.
Involved through collective community experience. The collaborative wisdom framework offers distinct contributions compared to existing approach, unlike the technocratic GI planning, which treats communities as source. So based on all of that, we identified three translations mechanisms. First, as spatial articulations, and the second one was democratic prioritizations, and the last one was the third one was accessible visualizations. So the 94% clarity rating confirms this mechanism is succeed. This finding reinforced that participatory design with genuine user involved in change both solutions, quality, and communications ownerships. So maybe that's all of my part of presentations, and I will hand back for the closing and the conclusions back to Butisna. Thank you so much.
Yes. Okay, thank you, Nabila. So, next slide. Yeah, conclusion. Okay, I will recap it in a very fast way. I can. So this, in our research, our key finding is the community in kampung settlement have a processes significant ecological intelligence that can be systematically documented and utilized. We produce 3 design alternatives with clear community preference, and then the communities genuinely involved as co-designers. So they develop a strong sense of ownership and commitment to the outcome. So however, we acknowledge that our findings are provisional. Our study was constrained by visual prototyping without physical construction in a 6-month time frame research. So we recommend future research through a physical implementation, maybe with a longer period of time. So this is our documentation during our research. It's on the left, at the top of left, you can see our group discussion session held in a chakro. Right now is existing chakro in the community settlement. And also we documented in a video. So the video become a short film, 10-minute film, and it has become a community film documentary. In the center, you can see our exhibition on design prototypes. It will the event was attended by representative from the kelurahan and village government, and also from another. Okay, time's up. Thank you. And the last one, the right, on the right and the bottom, documented of a collaborative performative video shot, and also all of this process of research is documented in a short video. So I think it's enough. Our presentation on behalf of Elsa, Nabila, and myself. Thank you for your attention. We are happy to take any question or discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Let's give a big applause to Ibu Endah, Mbak Nabila, and Mbak Elsa. So, anyone, if you have questions, please keep it for later, because we will proceed to our next presentation first, and then in the end of this session, we will have Q&A session for all. All right, let's move to our second presentation. It will be from Mas Panji Estutama, together with Paula Lardini and Sonia Rothman from the University of Queensland, Australia. Please, Mas Panji, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you. Is it my voice clear?
Yeah,
Okay.
we can hear you very well.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you for attending to my presentation. Today, I would like to present my paper, which I developed in collaboration with my supervisors, Associate Professor Paula Lardini and Associate Professor Sonia Rothman. But only me present this result. This paper is part of my PhD study in University of Queensland. This paper is about a regulatory review of blue-green infrastructure for addressing water challenge in Kedung Sepur metropolitan area in Indonesia. Next slide, please. Maybe the next slide. There are 5 points that I will discuss today. Research background, objective, methodology, findings, and contribution of the study. Next slide. Okay, this is the picture of flooding in urban area of Semarang City. Maybe next slide. Okay, my research background came from following condition. Urbanization in Indonesia is influenced by 3 key factors: natural population growth, rural to urban migration, and the reclassification of rural areas as urban areas. Indonesia urban population has increased from 12.5% on Independence Day in 1945 to 58.6% in 2023 and projected to reach 72.9% by 2045. Indonesia has established 10 priority metropolitan areas, including Kedung Sepur in Central Java Province. These metropolitan areas aim to stimulate economic growth. However, they also present environmental and spatial challenges. We can see on the table on the right side that Kedung Sepur is experience a population growth rate of 0.9% in 2025, and in 2023 Kedung Sepur had the highest population growth among other metropolitan area. Next slide, please. As we know, Kedung Sepur consists of 6 municipalities and regencies with the total area approximately 900 square kilometer. The north region is relatively flat coastal and the southern part mixed flat and hilly. Next slide. Okay, urbanization has increased the urban area in Kedung Sepur and has also expanded the built-up area. Urban development is expanding into peripheral regions. This growth has led to decrease in green spaces, which have been transformed into impermeable surfaces. As a result, there has been an increase in water surface runoff, a reduction in soil water infiltration, alteration to natural hydrology, and an elevated risk of flooding. This change serves as evidence of environmental degradation. Next slide. Floods happen almost every year in Semarang and its surrounding area. You can see by 2024, nearly 60% of Semarang urban area had been inundated, and also droughts also occur in Kedung Sepur. Maybe next slide. Okay, to anticipate the annual flood event that occur in Semarang, Demak, and certain area in Kedung Sepur, numerous water infrastructure projects have been developed. Primarily, they are as a grey infrastructure. However, flooding still persists. Next slide. Therefore, blue-green infrastructure serve as a strategy for water management by integrating green or sustainable element to address water-related issues. These are the example of blue-green infrastructure application in other countries. Next slide. So this is my research to address the research aim to explore the connection between urban expansion and water-related environmental impact, and to examine how blue-green infrastructure can mitigate this negative effect through informed policies and urban planning strategies. The study is organized around 4 objectives, and this paper is related to objective 2, to assess current water management policies and water infrastructure in Kedung Sepur, which includes 2 research questions. And additionally, this paper will be part of chapter 5 of the thesis. Next slide.
5 minutes.
Yeah. I will make faster. The chapter 5, effectiveness of water management in Kedung Sepur metropolitan area, utilizes 2 methods, policy review analysis and semi-structure interviews. The policy review analysis employs 2 criteria in the analytical process. The first criterion is regulatory selection area criteria, and the second criterion pertains to blue-green infrastructure intervention. Next slide. To select policy and regulation based on 4 specific criteria, including the first one is the regulatory area encompass the Kedung Sepur metropolitan area and extend Central Java Province. The second criteria is regulation governing spatial planning and regional development, along with sectoral directive related to water management. The third criteria is the selected water management regulation focused specifically on flood control, including fluvial, and coastal flooding. And the fourth criteria is the selected policy and regulation are the most recent with a validity period extending back 20 years. Next slide. It resolved 38 relevant regulation. Next slide. The next step in the review analysis is to utilize the systematic data review stage, which identified 7 criteria for blue green infrastructure implementation, such as the first one is integration of blue infrastructure, water and green infrastructure, vegetation. The second is multifunctionality and provision of different benefits. The third is interconnected network across multiple scale. The fourth is integrated blue green infrastructure into planning and regulation. The fifth is governance, integration, and clear roles. The sixth is secure financing and life cycle costs. And the seventh is community participation. Next slide. This is the review analysis on the 7 criteria of blue green infrastructure incorporation that result in criterion 1. Sustainability is discussed in conservation, not a flood management concept. There are blue green infrastructure measures like biopores, infiltration well, but lacks of a clear connection to a comprehensive blue green infrastructure approach. In criterion 2, limited technical guidance and weak links between green and gray measures, like quantitative target and requirement for blue green infrastructure implementation. Next slide. In criterion 3, co-benefits are still fragmented across sector. Social, cultural, and economic co-benefits are underdeveloped. Criterion 4, lack of detailed rules for collaborative operation, real-time coordination. Next slide. Criterion 5, responsibilities for managing river and tidal floods and blue green infrastructure related to sustainability remain unclear. Criterion 6, lack operational regulation to ensure community involvement in decision related to blue green infrastructure and flood management. Criterion 7, there are no clear operational criteria or standards specifically for blue green infrastructure financing. Next slide. From the finding, it can be concluded that the review makes contribution that includes the first one is the sustainability elements within regulation are viewed more as conservation tools than as integrated flood control mechanisms. The second is blue green infrastructure is still undefined, fragmented, and non-binding at all level governance, with gray infrastructure remaining the predominant approach. The third is there are institutional overlaps, vague role delineation, and a lack of coordination mechanism in flood governance in Kedung Sepur. And the last one is the review established a regulatory baseline for researchers, planners, and policymakers to develop more effective blue green infrastructure center approaches for flood management in metropolitan area. The last slide. I think this is the end of my presentation. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mas Panji, for your presentation. Okay, if anyone wants to have ask any questions to Mas Panji, you can keep it for later, yeah. Yes, we will proceed to our last presentation. So our last presenter, we have Bapak Dominikus Aditya Fitrianto, yeah, together with Ibu Lisana Sitkina and Anissa Uljana from Universitas Pembangunan Nasional Veteran Jawa Timur. So it's 10 minutes presentation, yeah, Pak. The time is yours.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Good afternoon, everyone. So for my presentation today, I will represent our team, with the topic of green wedges for peri-urban flood resilience and a GIS analysis of Waru Juanda Toll Corridor in Surabaya. Okay, so the term of peri-urban itself, it refers to the immediate surrounding area around the city, especially in the east of Surabaya. We have a peri-urban area consists of mangrove and fish pond and farmland and mixed rural area, which has a mixed lifestyle of urban and rural area, and also so many rapid development of residential area by a new developer. As we can see in the image, from the 2015 to the 2025, over the span of 10 years, there are very rapid urbanization. Peri-urban area itself has a great potential to provide ecosystem services needed for urban landscape. It should be an area that can store stormwater and also act as a sponge when the heavy rain season comes. So the change in the land use and the fragmentation of land is force the peri-urban area to become more fragile. Okay, next. As for the the Waru Juanda case, the existence of the tollway that connect the arterial road in the city to the international airport in the Juanda, it's become an attraction for the new developer to create new resident area near the toll road. Their premise is close access to the toll road and the close access to the airport. So the peri-urban area that should have been left as is as a sponge area, as a catchment area, they become fragmented by new residential area that sprawl around until the farthest is close to the mangrove forest. And as we can see in the picture to the right side, the effect of the rapid development of residential area can be found when the rainy season comes. There are heavy floods that more frequent than 10 years ago. So if there are heavy rain over 1 or 2 hours, the road will be flooded and the activity will be halted or disturbed. And so we came to our ideas. We proposed the green wedges that inspired by Copenhagen finger plans. Green wedge itself is an extension of green corridor from rural areas that bring the ecosystem services of stormwater storage and air purification, recreation function, and ecological connectivity directly into the city. So by proposing the green wedges, we are hoping to create a green corridor that will be penetrating the urban fabric and bring back the lost function of the peri-urban areas that transformed into the residential or gray area. And the 2 points of the green wedges is connectivity and multifunctionality. These 2 are the main resilience strategies to increase the flood resilience. Okay. So before we propose the strategy, we came to the question: which empty area or which farmland area should we turn into the green wedges? As we can see that Surabaya already packed with gray area, so we need to first mapping which area can be turned into the green wedge and which are the suitable one. So we break down this question into 5 selection criteria. The first one, is it a flood-prone area? And the second one, does it have existing vegetation? And it is near road. Is it far from houses? Because the multifunctionality of the green wedges should also support the recreational function for the citizen around. And the last question is, does water naturally flow through it? So it will be connected to how the river and drainage lines to the area. Next. Okay, so we came with the 5 criteria, the weighting criteria. There are flood risk, existing vegetation, distance from development, drainage corridor, and accessibility. Each of the weighting, actually we have several options on or alternative on the weighting, but what we presented here is the most optimum weighting, ranging in the biggest in the flood risk, and then followed by existing vegetation to the accessibility. Okay, next. This is the result of our mapping. This is an NDVI analysis to show the vegetation, existing vegetation or vegetated area. You can see the vegetation, the dense vegetation left only so small in this right side, and the other is already become a gray area. Next. And this is the NDVI analysis of existing building. So how far it's to the nearest development. And it show which area can be converted into green area by purchasing the land or transfer, conversion of the land use. And so on, we analyze it by mapping using QGIS to the distance from development. And next one. And this is connected to the criteria of river and drainage flow. So we can see that there are 2 main rivers, and it could become the main access for Greenwich development. And this one, the flood vulnerability index, it shows that the east side of the coastal area is very vulnerable to the flood during the heavy rain. Okay, next. Okay, as for the combined result, we came to the summary from the analysis and what the current Greenwich could look like. So far, there is no 100% suitability that could accommodate all 5 criteria, but we came close to the maximum if 75%. And it's located far off in the riparian edge, in the most eastmost of the site, and it's close to the sea. However, light intervention may be conducted around the toll road, as you can see in the dashed line, in the black dashed line, particularly within 1.5 kilometer distance around the toll road. Okay, next. The possible implementation for the short-term immediate action is to designate the area as the flood resilient zone with no build restriction. This is a low-cost measure, including fencing, signage, simple trails, to be implemented as first action. And for the medium term, and for the next step is the fragmented patches, which is within 1.5 kilometer of the toll road, might be protected through the transfer of development right and will development to be a park or another public space that support the recreational function. Next. Also, there are several limitations and so for future research. We still lacking tidal inundation studies. We haven't conclude including the tidal period and the level of the sea level, including the tidal flood. So we haven't considered it and has not considered land subsidence because we need high resolution subsidence mapping. And for the further research, it needs more thorough cost benefit analysis. Okay. And that's it for my presentation. This is my friend Titipan to join our research together. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Pak Dominicus. I think we already have all of our presenters, all presentations. I would like to invite the floor. If you have any questions to our first or second or our third presenters, please raise your hand, or Mas Panjik, you can also raise hand, yeah, via Zoom. Right? Any question? Yeah, please, Mas. Please introduce yourself. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adi Cahyadi from Arkom Indonesia, it's NGO based in Yogyakarta. So I would like to ask some question to Bu Endah team, which is I'm led also to come to join this session, yes, but I also do some co-design also with the community kampungs in green infrastructure like vertical garden, and I interest to ask about you. Maybe I like to hear from your team also. So I would like to ask you to elaborate how do you assess the user activities to decide the infrastructure community needs. So yeah, maybe that's my question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I think Bu Endah and team, you can directly respond, yeah, to the question.
Okay, thank you. Once again, what's your name, Mas?
Mas
Ade.
Adi.
Okay, Mas
Okay.
Ade. Mas Ade, you asked me about how to address the community needs, right? Yeah. Firstly, I make some questionnaire that what they need, and firstly is they have to fulfill the data first, what they have already had or what is facility they already had. We some observation in field in their 22 community groups or urban green kampung community. And also we have some group discussion at the questionnaire that we send to the participator. Remember, we have a picture, some picture, 3 or 4 picture that they have to pick one what they mostly do atau mostly need in to facilitate their area or their existing condition. And we have some discussion and questioning why they need that or why not this. And we have some triangulation discussion with the Pak Sagio is PPL. PPL means like petugas penyuluh lapangan, what's it called in English? I don't know. Petugas penyuluh lapangan, that we have the triangulation. Is this group actually need this facility or not? Or we can some discussion about what they age actually. Is this appropriate? Example in one group kampung is there are some plant that apa ya, tumbuhnya tuh di dinding, in the wall, so they have to panen by climb at some tangga ladder or something like that. It's very dangerous for the old women. So, and in some points we design to a ladder that we can flip it, and it's very light, not heavy. So it become they fulfilling their need, something like that. Mbak Nabila.
Maybe just a little additions. So basically, when we trying to address the community, we're not trying to see them as an object. So we came there, we getting collaboration with them. Like we made some, we made them think that we were their partner, part of it. So we show them that we try to help them to boost their, like, their potentials, So, basically, like that. So, in ISA, collaborative wisdom create condition for co-evolutions between the vernacular intelligence and professional expertise. Maybe that's all our answer. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, Ibu Endah, Mbak Nabila, and also Mbak Elsa. And thank you, Mas Ade, ya, for the question. Any other questions? Okay.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much. My name is Tio. I'm actually from Surabaya as well. I'm from Institute Technology 10 November. I have a question to Pak Dominic. So yeah, I think it's a very interesting research. I was just wondering, like, how much change would it be estimated based on the current field condition? Maybe there's buildings, there's existing vegetations that serve different purpose that is currently obstructing the potential planting area. So, like, how much change would it may be needed to implement those green wedges?
Okay, thank you, Mas Iyo. Okay, for the change when we implemented the green wedges, we are hoping to achieve about 50% change in the conversion of the areas, because around tollways of Waru and Juanda, there are several abandoned building or abandoned development because of they broke the permit and regulation. So the area itself, it has a possibility to be converted into green wedges. And as for the recreational facility in the catchment area and so on. So we are hoping by exercising the green wedges, including the area such as the abandoned building or in the gray area that would have no ownership, we can achieve at least 50% of the green wedges.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Next question.
Can I have a question? Sorry, can I have a question, Bu Yani?
Yeah, please wait for a minute, Mas Panji. We have question here, and then after that, you can ask the question. Okay, thank you.
Dominic, thanks for your presentation. Yeah, I had a question also about the green wedges. And my question was, did you run your analysis and then thought, oh, this looks like green wedges? Was that how you approached it? Or did you consider other types of patterns as well besides wedges? So yeah, that's my question. There's many green infrastructure plans around there, so I thought it's a very powerful plan, the green wedges plan. But in future, will you consider other patterns?
Okay, thank you very much. Honestly, we came with the proposed solution of green wedges because we have limited time to research this and to have the result. But after I hear about your presentation of BPD, biodiversity positive design, it comes to my mind that sometimes we need just to leave the nature as is. Maybe our position as a designer is to make way for the development, as not or to turn the bad development into the more ample land to recover, to make the land more, or enabling the land to recover itself. And also about the marsh and the wetland, I think Surabaya has same type of those green area, especially in the east side of Surabaya, because originally there are a fish pond, or in the Indonesian term we call it tambak. Yeah, we usually use it to farm fish and shrimp and other sea product. And it should rely heavily into the existence of mangrove forest, but because of the rapid urbanization, many of the mangrove forest is gone and turned into the residential. So I think the other proposed solution for the green, beside the green waste, is to create what is it, a sanctuary or a neutral zone, as no building, no don't apa, it's not permitted to build in this area. Maybe that's it. All I can think right now.
All right, thank you. Yeah, interesting, Pak Dominic, your research, and I think you haven't also mentioned about consideration on abrasi, because sometimes maybe it also influenced the condition of the, especially the coastal area. Yeah, yeah. Is it also the limitation of this research, or there is no abrasion?
Actually, we haven't included the calculation of the aberration, as we are lacking the tidal inundation data, because we need a higher resolution for the mapping. So maybe in the next research we can also analyze this side.
Okay, okay, thank you, Mas Panji, please.
Okay, thank you. I also have a question to Pak Dominic. I see your research is very interesting. Maybe we can collaborate, because the application of the green wages also I think can be categorized as a blue-green infrastructure also, as long as if it is capable of creating co-functions like a social or cultural function also in the relation with the green wages. But my question is, what is the limit of on the green wages scale? Because you mentioned that the agricultural area also categorized as a green wages, but I see from your presentation that the green wages only on small scale. And the second question is, do you concern also about the governance of the green wages? Because the area of green wages is located, you said that located near to the road, which we already know that the road and also the vegetation is a different governance in the government institution. Maybe that's the two questions from me.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Panji. I'm very excited to join your research also, because we have a similar topic about flood resilience, right? So in case of the urban wages, I realized that to make the ideas come through, there are so many different disciplines that needed to be working together, especially about the government. So if we talk about the government or the land ownership, we also realize that we have to first convince the government so we can make an impact by approaching the developer and the community, and how to the green wages will be partaken in their what is it, in their land or in their ownership. So we need first to approach the government and convince them that this is needed to be a solution for the future, because the flood resilience itself cannot be solved only by make a new drainage or make a bigger drainage, because it won't settle the issue about the lack of the catchment area. So if we talk about the green wage as the potential for flood resilience veteran, we need first. I think we need to first convince the government so they will lead this project. So then we can work together with the community, with the farmland, with the fish pond owners and other owner of the land. So we can create this area to support the community surrounding it.
Is it clear, Mas Panji?
Yeah, clear. How about the scale? Is there any limited scale that mentioned as that is categorized as a green wages?
As for the limited scale, I think it's only in a regional scale. It's not an city scale, but only maybe in term of Indonesian term is in a kecamatan maybe or in kelurahan scale. So I think as for the starter, we cannot go big, but we need to create a small but impactful as the project can be a prototype for the future reference.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Is it satisfactory?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mas Panji and also Pak Dominic. Maybe you can continue the discussion in the future after this session.
I will. Okay. Thank you very much.
And collaborations even, yeah. All right, everyone, we already have our all presenters and the discussion to this session. I would like to maybe sum up, yeah, the key takeaways maybe from our first presentation. The takeaway is that the technological or design expertise in terms of the implementation of green infrastructure, maybe it's not sufficient, yeah, if it is implemented alone by the expert, and the vernacular wisdom is actually a primary driver here to operationalizing the green infrastructure in the context of kampung, yeah, in the case of Yogyakarta. And then the second presentation, Mas Panji shared about the alignment, yeah, that it is very important to align the regulatory frameworks across national, provincial, and also local levels to be able to implement the green infrastructure and nature-based solution. And from the last presentations, Pak Dominic also shared about the rapid urbanization in peri-urban corridor, and we can perceive the unbuilt land as a strategic asset, not void to be filled. All right, thank you very much. Let's give applause to all presenters, and thank you for the fruitful discussion, everyone. I think we can close, yeah, these sessions, and I would like to remind you that we have closing ceremony at 4 p.m. Today in our K1 room, yeah, just in the next door. So don't forget to attend our closing ceremony because we will announce, yeah, the best presenters and best papers as well. Thank you once again. See you later in our closing ceremony. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much.
Bye, Mas Panji and everyone online. Thanks.
Now first presenter is already here. The rest I think will be online because the time is very short. So you just finished sharply in 2.04. So hopefully now 2.07 we can start. Okay, anyone? And also the one in online. This is now the day 2 in the room 2, the session 2. Session 2, yeah. Okay, there will be 2 groups of presentators. The first group will be talking into the place, identity, and agrotourism development. Evidence from Nawungan Hamlet, Selo Pramioro, Bantul, Regency Indonesia. And then secondly, museum storytelling and cultural landscape. a narrative spatial framework for batik heritage interpretation in Indonesia. And the last one will be heritage interpretation as a tool for conserving Vihara Budagaya Watugong Semarang. So I'll try to make the presentation into a two session, which is this. The first will be presentation. Each group of presenters should present it within 10 minutes. And then until 2:40 minutes, we will have a question and answer, and we have to be finished at 2:55. Okay. I will invite the first presenter. There will be directly is place identity and agrotourism development, evidence from Nawungan Hamlet, Selopamioro, Bantul Regency Indonesia, presented by Afif Mubarak from Department of Architecture and Planning, Faculty of Engineering, as well as Ratna Eka Suminer. So please, the time is yours, 10 minutes. Please.
Yeah, thank you, Bu Sita. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ratna Eka Suminar. I'm here to represent Mr. Afif Mubarak to present our research about the place identity in agrotourism development in Naungan. Okay, thanks. So, agrotourism is a form of tourism, tourism that utilize agriculture activities, commodities, and also the landscape for tourist attraction, while simultaneously enhancing their economic values of the agriculture. And in practices, agritourism development is often implemented top-down approach. They are initiated by external stakeholders such as central or the local government, and they are frequently designed to achieve external development goals such as economic growth, tourism promotion, and regional competitiveness. And unfortunately, many agrotourism programs encounter substantial difficulties during their implementation and the development. This phenomenon can be observed in Naungan agrotourism in Selopamioro, Bantul, which was initiated by Bantul government in 2013. And the government introduced the farmer for develop the fruit-based garden such as durian and avocado. Even though previously the Hamlet community has developed salad farming since the 1980s. Next. So this is our research location. This is the Jakarta Special Province, and it is the Selopamioro village in Bantul region. And this is the Selopamioro village area, and Naungan is in the central of the village. You can see that agrowisata Bukit Darmo is the durian and avocado plantation. Okay, next. So the difficulties of agrotourism development are often not only the result of poor marketing, inadequate infrastructure, or insufficient funding, but agrotourism that in the initiative by other stakeholders, by outside stakeholders, is neglect the place identity. Place identity is a concept that explain about the relationship between individuals and their environment through the formation of the meanings, experiences, and emotional attachment. So place identity also gradually from the local history, culture, social practices, and residents' attachment to the place. Government agencies usually design the agrotourism only based on development plans rather than on how the resident perceive themselves. Next slide. Okay, so why does this study matter? Although the Naungan Hamlet has been promoted by the fruit agrotourism area since the 2013, but it has not been able to develop optimally In contrast, the salad the salad commodity that has developed through the community based initiative and interregional practices has gained the recognition through the glowing brand, and become a more prominent characteristic of naungan, glowing, gede, bigger, original, and environmentally conscious. This condition indicates there is a mismatch between the planned direction of agrotourism development and the identity that has naturally evolved within the community. So, given the place that place identity is formed from intersection among individuals, the community, and the environments that serve basic foundation for regional development and marketing strategies, it is necessary to identify the components of place identity in Naungan to understand the local community's perspective for the development area. Okay, next slide. Yeah, so the research objective is to identify the components of place identity in Naungan Hamlet. So we adopt identity process theory that proposed by Brickwell and then developed by Lali and Twigger, Ross, and Yuzel. There are 4 variables for place identity, which are self-esteem, it's about the pride, distinctiveness about uniqueness, self-efficacy about the confidence, and continuity is about the sustainability over the time. So the 4 variables became of our analytical framework. Next slide. So the study adopts a deductive qualitative approach. So the data were collected through the in-depth interview with 12 key informants. We selected using propositional sampling, and then the analysis focused on 2 observation units because Naungan Hamlet divided into Naungan 1 and Naungan 2, Naungan 1 and Naungan 2. And then the interview transcript were analyzed using deductive quality using in vivo based on 4 place variable of place identity. Okay, next slide. Okay, rather than applying identity process theory directly, we first operationalize its 4 theoretical dimension into 8 sub-variables that reflect the characteristic of the agritourism, technology adoption, branding, commodity uniqueness, local wisdom awareness, agrotourism management, innovation, willingness to develop, environmental sustainability, and then human resource sustainability. This contextualization enable us to capture how local communities perceive the place identity through agricultural practices, commodity characteristic, and environmental management, and then the community development. So the key findings, there's a comparison between 2 hamlet, further demonstrate that Naungan 1 possess all 8 identified place identity subvariable, and Naungan 2 to exhibit only 6, and nevertheless both hamlets share a common identity through the presence of the 4 principal dimensions of place identity. Across both location, interview participants consistently associate salots with the identity of the agrotourism area, not the durian or alpukat, but the salot. And then unlike the fruit commodities introduced by the government initiative, salad cultivation has evolved through intergenerational knowledge practices, resulting in much stronger emotional and social attachment between the community and the place. Okay, next slide. Yeah, the findings reveal that self-efficacy and continuity constitute the strongest dimensions of the place identity in Naungan. and community members demonstrate high confidence in their capacity to innovate in agrotourism management through technological adoption, collaborative development, and also the continuous improvement of agriculture practices. Likewise, continuity is reflected in strong commitments to environmental sustainability, including organic farming practices and rainwater reservoir development, as well as the regeneration of the human resource through the involvement of younger generation in agricultural activities. And in contrast, self-esteem and distinctiveness are less consistently represented across the study area. Naungan 1 exhibit the stronger place identity because the resident express pride derived from their experience. Conversely, this dimension are less evident in Naungan 2, Naungan 2, where agrotourism branding has not yet generated a comparable sense of pride, and local agriculture practice are generally perceived routine activities rather than distinctive characteristics that differentiate the area from other rural communities. The last slide, next. So the conclusion, the study conclude that place identity within the Naungan agrotourism is primarily shaped by everyday agricultural practices, social interaction, and community-based initiative rather than an externally imposed branding strategies. The dominance of self-efficacy and continuity indicates that identity emerged through resident confidence in managing their environment and their commitment to sustain the local agriculture tradition over time. These findings suggest that agrotourism policies should prioritize by bottom-up development that strengthen the locally embedded practices, social capital, and community participation. And by demonstrating the dominant role of self-efficacy and continuity in this Naungan, the study extends the application of identity process theory to context of agrotourism development and provide practical insight for planner or policy makers by seeking development, sustainable development, community-based rural tourism. This is.
Thank you, Bu Ratna. It's sharp 2:20. Yes. I would like to add, this is interesting place. You should come there too, because this is the area of Selo Pamioro. It used to be an ancient civilization there, and then they have the beautiful cultural landscape along the river Oya. So I think this one is also interestingly because they would like to say place identity should be highly promoted rather than just talking about what is there, but the place of identity will be interesting also, everyone also to attend that places. Okay, I would like to invite this maybe from the online. Museum storytelling and cultural landscape, a narrative spatial framework for batik heritage interpretation in Indonesia, will be presented by Alvin Roshida, Nala Roma, Husainatus Salma, they are from University of Diponegoro, and then Sari Famularsih from University of Muslim Salatiga, Negeri Salatiga. Okay, so time is yours until 2:30, please.
Good afternoon, respected chair, distinguished presenters, and fellow participants. My name is Husainatus Salma from Diponegoro University. Today,
And you presented your speech is rather very quiet.
Oh,
Can you? Yes, okay. Louder, please.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, respected chair, distinguished presenter, and fellow participants. My name is Husainatus Salma from Diponegoro University, and today I am honored to present our research entitled Museum Storytelling in Cultural Landscape, a narrative spatial framework for batik heritage interpretation in Indonesia. This study examines how storytelling is communicated not only through museum exhibition, but also through the organization of space and proposes a framework for heritage museum design. Next slide. Next slide, please. Okay. Batik is an important part of Indonesia's cultural identity and has been recognized by UNESCO as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity. Today, museums are expected not only to preserve collection but also to create meaningful visitors' experiences through storytelling. And however, previous studies mainly discuss storytelling as a curatorial or exhibition strategy, with limited attention to how storytelling is translated into museum spaces. Therefore, the study aims to examine how storytelling is implemented through museum spaces, analyze the relationship between narrative and visitor movement, and develop a narrative spatial framework. And our finding suggests that museum storytelling is shaped not only by what visitors see, but also by how they experience and move through space. Next slide. To address these objectives, we adopted a qualitative case study approach using Museum Batik Pekalongan as the research site. Data were collected through observation, spatial mapping, and document analysis. And the data were then analyzed using a narrative spatial analysis approach to understand the relationship between storytelling, spatial organization, and visitor experience. Based on this analysis, we developed the proposed framework. Next. And our findings show that storytelling is reflected not only in exhibition content, but also in the visitor journey. Visitor moves sequentially from the lobby to the exhibition rooms, the garden, and finally to the workshop. This creates a continuous narrative experience. We identified four key spatial characteristics. First one is thematic zoning, where each exhibition represents a different stage of the batik story. And the second one is visitor circulation, which guides visitor through a logical narrative sequence. And the third one is transitional space, where the garden provides a pause before the visitors continue to the next exhibition. And finally, experimental learning, where the workshop allows visitors to participate directly in batik making. Together, these elements demonstrate that storytelling is created not only through museum objects, but also through visitor movement and spatial experience. Next. Based on these findings, our study offers two main contributions. First, museum storytelling should be understood not only as a curatorial strategy, but also as a spatial planning strategy. We found that a fixed spatial structure can support flexible narrative content, allowing museum to update exhibition themes without changing their physical layout. Second, we propose the narrative spatial framework, which consists of four stages. The first one, which narrative extraction, spatial translation, circulation design, and experiential integration. This framework provides a conceptual guide for integrating storytelling into museum spatial design. Next. In conclusion, this study demonstrates that museum storytelling extends beyond exhibition content. Our findings suggest that storytelling is shaped not only by what visitors see, but also how they experience and move through space. And The proposed narrative spatial framework offers a conceptual approach for designing museums that create more meaningful heritage experiences. We hope this framework can also be applied to other museums that interpret intangible cultural heritage. Next. Thank you so much for your attention. Thank you.
Okay. Is finished? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. So this place, actually, I remember this my personal is where my parents got married in this museum. Previously, it's a house of my grandfather and mother from my mother, because they were the what you can regents from those regency of Pekalongan at that moment, long time ago. So maybe I was built in that place. Okay, anyway, museum is a place for batik. It's very well known of this, and now it's utilized as a museum. Okay, later on we can discuss about this. And the next, I would like to invite heritage interpretation as a tool for conserving Vihara Budagaya Watugong Semarang. So I will invite the group of Naila Rohma, Alvin Roshida, Uswatun Niswa. Alvin Roshida, they are from University of Diponegoro. And then Uswatun Niswa, Koliduya Komari are from Universitas Gadjah Mada. And next, Yuni Mutmainah, Richard Bastian, Atul Barani from University of Diponegoro. So time is yours up to 2:40. So you have 11 minutes because previous presenter they spend left 1 minute.
Yeah,
Okay,
now it's 10
please.
minutes.
Silakan.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, distinguished chairpersons, respected participants, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Naila Rohma from Universitas Diponegoro, Indonesia. And it's my pleasure to be here to represent our team, to present our research entitled Heritage Interpretation as a Tool for Conserving Vihara Budagaya Watugong Semarang. Next, please. Cultural heritage sites preserve collective memory, cultural identity, and also historical continuity. Generally, in Southeast Asia, many religious heritage sites function as cultural landscape where architecture, nature environments, and spiritual meanings are closely interconnected. And in Indonesia itself, we have 6 religions that have been acknowledged by Indonesia, and Buddha is one of them. And obviously, there are so many sites that spread out through Indonesia. And Vihara Budagaya Watugong is one of Indonesia's important Buddhist heritage sites that currently we still use it for worship and also for tourist attraction. However, preserving heritage is not only about protecting physical structure, but also about helping visitors understand about their cultural meanings. Now, this leads to the problem addressed in our study. This next. Okay. So, although the monastery, Vihara Budagaya Watugong Semarang, possess rich heritage values, visitors often focus only on visually dominant landmarks. And as a result, limited interpretation produce only superficial visitors' understanding. It's not deep one. And it obviously can weaken conservation awareness. This next. Now, that's why we develop this research objective here. So the objective of the study is to develop structured heritage interpretation model for Vihara Budaya Watugong that enhance visitor understanding and support sustainable heritage conservation. Now let's see the methodology that we use for our study. This next, yeah. So this study adopted and applied qualitative research, and data were collected through field observation and then documentation, and also this semi-structured interview that we have conducted. We interviewed the manager of the site of Budahara Patugong Semarang and also 10 visitors. And for the data analysis, here we, the first one, we heritage values were categorized on this for thematic, not this for thematic analysis. Yeah, we categorize them into physical characteristic, historical significance, symbolic or religious meanings, and also current functional role. Well, the second one, we did the interpretation gap to compare the understanding of the visitors and also the heritage elements, and the result were synthesized into interpretation component. Now let us move to the finding. Okay, so for the first one, identification of heritage elements and values. So we identify several key heritage elements representing architectural, symbolic, historical, spiritual, and functional values. So we have Avalokiteshvara Pagoda, Dhammasala, Bodhi Tree, Sanchi, Stupa, and Kwanim Hall. And then this we can see that each element doesn't only like have one heritage value, but they share the value. So it's not only one, but two. For example, that we have Avalokiteshvara Pagoda, we have a physical or the architecture, and then the symbolic one or the religious one. Okay, now we can move to the next one. Okay, here, well, we have those very rich heritage value, but we have a different perception here for the visitor perception and interpretation gaps. So we know that most visitors recognize only the Avalokiteshvara Pagoda because it's visually dominant. It's the tallest landmark in that area. It's a 7-story building, so it stands tall. The visitors automatically attract to that site first, and then visitors also really understand other elements like the smaller one, like Bodhi Tree, Dhammasala, or Watugong stone. Visitors primarily respond to visual prominence rather than heritage significance, and so we know that they focus on the visually dominant one, and they tend to ignore or don't really pay attention to the other significant heritage elements. Okay, next please.
5 minutes.
Yeah, next please. Yeah, here we develop 3 interpretation components. We have the interpretation theme, spatial interpretation notes, and communication media. Together, these components establish a coherent interpretation framework. Next, please. Okay, here's the spatial notes. Because we need more information related to this. So this figure illustrates the proposed visitor route. Instead of allowing visitors to explore randomly, this framework guides them through the principal heritage elements, encouraging a more comprehensive understanding of the site's cultural landscape from the entrance until they exit the site. Next, please. Okay, so here's the proposed interpretation model. This is the main outcome of a study. So this model integrate heritage elements, the elements that are landmarks that we have listed before, and then the interpretation theme. So the the three from interpretation theme, spatial notes, and communication media is the main one. So the interpretation theme is the heritage value that we had before, and then spatial notes, the roots that we have, and then communication media to what media that we can use to use these shared heritage values. And the last two that in green is the one that would like to achieve. So after implementing this interpretation model, we would like to achieve better visitors understanding that will lead us to the heritage conservation. Next, please. Okay, here's the research contribution that we have. The first one is we propose an integrated heritage interpretation framework. And then we also provide a structured interpretation model for Wihara Budaya Watugong Semarang. It's to support visitors' understanding and also heritage conservation without requiring physical intervention. And it offers framework that can actually be adapted to other religious and cultures heritage sites. Next, please. And here, the study proposed an integrated heritage interpretation framework. We have the interpretation themes, we have the spatial notes and communication media. So we talk about what to interpret, where to interpret, how to interpret into one coherent interpretation framework for religious cultural landscape. Next, please. Okay, so here's the conclusion. In conclusion, heritage interpretation should communicate the entire cultural landscape rather than only the iconic landmarks. And then the proposed framework also transform visitor experience from visual observation into meaningful understanding, while also supporting the conservation. And future research hopefully can evaluate its implementation, whether it's effective, the effectiveness, and also the digital interpretation media. Next one, here's our references, and thank you so much for the opportunity.
Okay. Thank you so much from Semarang. And now it's time for question and answer. And we learned there are so many remainings in the area of the north area of Central Java, as well as also in Yogyakarta from the north coast, and then from the ocean of the north of Java, and of course from the Asian continentals. And of course, once again, as these designs also remaining as to the Chinese architectures. So we have 15 minutes for question and answer. So please, anyone want to give comment, question? First, Mbak Tisna.
Thank you, Bu Sita. My question is for Ibu or Mbak Naila. Hello, Mbak Naila. My name is Tisna.
Yeah, hello.
Nice to meet you. I'm very interesting about your research in here, and what I want to discuss in depth. It's about what communication strategy does your model recommend it the most, and for what type of you say this is the strategy that reflect the site historical, architectural, symbolic, and environmental attributes. So what's the linkage about the communication and the attributes that you provided in your research? It's my question. Thank you very much.
Okay, please, Mbak Naila.
Okay, for the first question, thank you for the question, Mbak Tisna. So for the first question, it's related to communication media. So we have proposed a few media for the communication. The first one, we have the information panels that would be helpful if they have it there in the sites. And then we have guided interpretation. So we can actually provide the tour guide, because currently they don't have one. So people just explore the sites randomly. They just do not really have the interpretation that's provided, so they just assume on it on their own. And then they also can have the QR codes because now it's everything's digital, so they can scan the QR code and it will be the explanation related to the landmarks or the sites. And for the audiovisual media, it can also be included in the link that link from the QR code. That one for the first question, and then for the second one related to the
Linkage.
the communication linkage between the communication and the environment. Is that the question?
My
Sorry?
question is in your abstract. I write in your abstract. You said that the site historical, architectural, symbolic, and environmental attributes as your data analyzed. Yeah. So what's the linkage about in your finding and your strategies? Thank you.
Thank you. So we use that to identify the categorization related to the analytical, thematic analysis. So we divide those landmarks into architecture or physical value, and then functional, and then the symbolic or religious value. So after that, we definitely use that to compare, to do the second analysis stage, which is the interpretation gap, that we compare the landmarks values. We know that they're very rich in values, and then we compare it to the visitors' understanding. Turns out they don't really know, like they obviously only pay attention to the dominance one, which is Avalokiteshvara Pagoda. So we use that in that analysis stage.
Thank you, Mbak.
Thank you very much.
Naila, maybe I can also add some more to make the confirmations. So, for instance, you mentioned about you make a comparisons also about the architecture value. Do you mean with this building of this?
No, just yeah.
The architecture. What is you means with architecture in this?
It's the value, the heritage value. Like Avalokiteshvara Pagoda, it's very rich in architectural value or the physical value, like that.
Okay. Okay, thank you. And please, next. Any more questions, or maybe from the online? Myself, I have a questions to the group of the museum, because where my grandparents live, that now utilized as the museum. I was thinking, are you also mentioned this one, that the spatial framework for batik heritage interpretations also related to the where is the batik come from? Because on that museum there are so many type of the batik from all over the even Asia that coming to Java or Indonesia, and should be also interpretation from the visitor who come to this museum, and then they will also see what is influence to each batik there. Are you that your group also make interpretations on this issue? This is one from the group of the museum, and secondly from the group of the pagoda, I also try to point out about the interpretations also related to the space where the influence of the on the design on those pagoda. So the heritage interpretation can also, people that come there learn how is the influence of art design for instance, from China, or there is also some information about how those pagoda is built. So this is, I just want to make the additional comment on this. Please, one is the group of the museum storytelling, and secondly, the group of the Vihara Budaya. Please. Or Mbak, you are here, Mbak Naila.
Yeah,
You
I'm
can,
here.
you can
Okay.
mention first, yes.
Okay, so let me answer first for the first one, second question. So yeah, that is right. So because we also need the interpretation or the information related to the architecture for the sites, because we know that Buddhist sites is heavily influenced by Chinese architecture, especially the pagoda Avalokitesvara. It has seven stories building, and there should be information related to why it's supposed to be seven, and why the ceiling shape that way, and so on. So it's not only they just enjoy the visual, but it will be beneficial when they know about the architecture information related to the site or the landmark. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And then the group museum storytelling in cultural landscape.
Okay, thank you for your question. In this study, our primary focus was on how the museum communicates heritage through storytelling and spatial organization, rather than on how visitors from different cultural backgrounds interpret the exhibition. We recognize that visitors may have different interpretation depending on their cultural background, prior knowledge, and personal experiences. And this is indeed an important aspect of heritage interpretation. However, this was beyond the scope of our current research. Our proposed framework is intended to provide a conceptual guide for designing museum spaces that facilitate storytelling. We hope that future research can investigate how visitors from diverse cultural backgrounds interpret these narratives, and how their feedback can be incorporated to further refine the framework. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We still have 6 minutes. Any more comment? Yes, please.
Yeah, excuse this question. It's perhaps not so related to the presentation, but regarding Samarang, I visited last year, and in several of the pagodas and the Chinese heritage sites in Samarang, there's some stories and memorialization of a difficult heritage of some massacres of the Chinese there. So I was wondering, what are the thoughts that people have about how to present this heritage, which is quite confronting. And I know some cultures find it easier than others. So I was just interested to hear the thoughts in this room. When I was there, there was actually no official guide, but a kind man who was lighting incense took me around and told me some stories in a few Indonesian words. But so I was lucky, I think. But yeah, anyway, back to my question about the concept of difficult heritage and how you might present that in the pagoda.
Yes, I think this is something that you were lucky at that moment, because once again, heritage interpretations that even the group one also mentioning about the place identity, but this is also part of the heritage interpretation as well, that we are not really telling storytelling. The group two mentioning about the importance of storytellings. So, for instance, like Borobudur, actually Borobudur is not just a temple, but from the relief there is a lot of storytelling mentioning about where the ship came from, because previously they are an ancient lake, and then the ancient lake there are so many river, and the river also connected to the North Sea, and there were many ships came. And why the face and the relief so different? Yeah, because there are so many ethnics that came to Borobudur. So this kind of heritage interpretations should be enhanced in our places, and we are very thank you to all the researchers that they try to develop more and ask even the management also to push how to build more better interpretations. And they need also, of course, the persons to in charge for this kind of interpretation. For instance, like the guided tour, and then, yeah, this is what we need on this. So, before we close, are there still questions? Oh, ya silakan. Satu lagi. Yes, we still have 2 minutes. Silakan.
Okay, thank you so much for the time. So my questions is for Mbak Ratna
Dari
Eka.
mana, Mbak?
Okay, I'm so sorry. Saya dari saya juga co-writer atau penulis kedua dari Bu Tisna. My questions is for Mbak Ratna Eka Suminar, the research about place identity of agro-tourism development, evidence from Naungan Helmet Selopamioro Bantul. So my questions is, would you please explain what kind of the shallot commodity which serves as the main element shaping the character and image of the area that you mentioned in the abstracts? Maybe that's my questions.
Monggo, Mbak. Okay, so the community of Naungan have developed the Salot community since 1980. I think they also give branding for the salad. It's glowing, bigger, original, and big. Yes, they try to make it sounding easy sounding for tourists. So the salad is red. It's glowing, red and shiny, and they also make improve make the bawang goreng fried onion to make the higher economic benefit for this farming activities, but the government of Bantul decided to push them to develop durian and avocado since 2013, and after 13 years, till now, it's durian and avocado is not growing well. So because their culture, their heart, and their over generation since 1980, they plant the salad. Okay.
Is that have some effect from the geological like locations or something. So the avocados and the durian not going well.
Yeah, some farmers has already developed montong, durian montong, and it's growing well. But I don't know, maybe the other farmers and majority farmers more like to grow onions. Maybe because um, the onions and rice field. Okay, so onions is only twice per years, but the yeah, and then the rest they plant the rice. Yeah.
Because the time is already up, so I would like to close this by saying I'm not making the conclusion, but there's very important words that maybe we can also mention this. One is for the place identity should be prepared sharply by even the local people and also the local leader as well, because their negotiation among them is very important. And then heritage interpretation of cultural heritage, cultural landscape is also something should be built, should be developed, and there should be more strong storytellings within our collections, either batik, either the pagoda or temple, and also bigger cultural landscape. Okay, thank you so much for your attention and your discussion. And I close the session too, and I give to the committee, please.
Kindly reminder if we have a closing ceremony at 4 p.m. and also have a coffee break the outside.